If we can realize that God lives within us and within every other person, war would cease because we recognize and we revere that God essence within every part of life. Do we have any questions for Godfre? Christopher has a question for Godfre.
Beloved Godfre, I would ask thee, what would be those first principles of the will of God that are most important for application now in our world for the harmonizing and the healing of all the divisions and war and rumors of war and fear of war? And what would be those first principles that are most essential for our lives at this time?
Thank you. The first is to realize that God is our source, and that God lives, moves, and has his/her being within us as the spark of our divine identity. If we can realize that God lives within us and within every other person, war would cease because we recognize and we revere that God essence within every part of life. So we have reverence for life, we respect that. That itself would immediately quell the engines of war. The second principle is that by following the golden rule, we live in the integrity of our true self, doing unto others as we desire others to do unto us. It brings harmony and it brings the Christ awareness into the present reality of our life, because we consider every word, every action, every thought, and every feeling in how it impacts life, and life around us, life within us, even our own selves. We may not think of the golden rule as impacting ourself, yet imagine treating your cells, treating your organs, treating your four lower bodies as you would treat the Christ. So we look outside and say, okay, well, do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. Do unto your cells, your organs, your tissues, your four lower bodies, as you would like others to do unto their four lower bodies. So we begin with ourself. We always begin by working on ourself. And this is a universal principle. We can't affect change in a large way of the world unless we do that change first internally. So living the golden rule is essential. The other is to understand the Holy Spirit's presence as a universal life field. The presence of the Holy Spirit as a universal life field. And when we live consciously in communion with the Holy Spirit or the Great Spirit, and you can say the Divine Mother through nature, we are raised in that glory to then have all of the essentials of life that come to us at our beck and call, because we have gone to the source of all that is required of us to live. Our breath, our heartbeat, our very life force. So the life force through the Holy Spirit, through our own breathing and through the heartbeat and the pulsation of the blood within the body temple, is right there. And we have to honor that process through the breath of God, the love of God through the breath of God. So the Holy Spirit represents divine love in the Trinity. And when we honor that, we honor the living, vital energy of our life. We would never take another life. We wouldn't take our own life. So if we honor our own life as the Holy Spirit moves through us, then it applies to every aspect of our life to bring the blessedness, the holiness, the grace, the divine light into every area of our life. So when the Declaration of Independence was written, they talked about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they codified through those terms what was important. Life, number one. Liberty, freedom to having free will to express ourselves. And the right to be happy, to move into divine happiness, which comes through love. So life represents the blue ray. Liberty represents the yellow ray. Think of the goddess of liberty with her torch. And then the freedom to pursue happiness, which is divine love. It comes through divine love. You've got the blueprint right there of the threefold flame. I had never thought of this. David has never thought of this before. But there it is right there. Life, God, the blue ray, liberty, and then the pursuit of divine happiness. We could add the word divine happiness because we don't just desire human happiness or physical happiness. We desire true happiness, everlasting happiness through divine love. So we could just add that little extra, the word divine in there if we choose, and divine happiness. So these principles are universal, and every nation on earth really should have the same type of constitution, or at least the same principles and values to live by, because then there can be harmony and peace throughout the world. And if one nation is a dictatorial one and they don't honor these principles and values, then the people are not happy. They're just not happy in their souls. They're not happy in their consciousness. They don't feel free to be expressive of who they are, and so they're walking in fear. And this occurs in Russia, it has occurred in Venezuela, it's occurred in Cuba, it's occurred in North Korea, and of course in the past in the Soviet Union. And there's certain nations that still have this terrible matrix. It's occurring more and more in Canada, unfortunately, and in the United States even. People are not free to express who they are. And Godfre says, look at the United Kingdom and what's happened there. It's terrible that the freedom of speech is not universally applied there. And the United Kingdom and Great Britain and England, it's terrible. So we have to go back to the four sacred freedoms also. This is like a corollary to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If we have the four sacred freedoms, then we will have the opportunity to live a life of equanimity, a life that is just, that is honorable, and that is wrought with the opportunity to be who we truly are and to fulfill our destiny. If we don't have that liberty and that freedom, how can we be expressive of our true nature? So these are some of the primary things. There's a lot more to this beyond that. If you reread the Declaration of Independence, you will see why it is that our founders broke away from Great Britain and decided to have freedom within the 13 original colonies and later all the other states. And, everything wasn't perfect. There was slavery, of course. We understand this. However, America has been trying to perfect itself for 250 years. And we're not there yet. And I don't know if we'll ever be quite perfect. Yet it is an experiment, and yet it is a 250-year experiment in trying to understand the dynamics of what America represents as a land of the free, home of the brave, and a nation built on the foundation of truth, honor, integrity, and the Christ awareness. And no matter what you think about different religions, we're talking about the Christ awareness, not just Christianity or Jesus, following Jesus. It's the Christ principles that are at the heart of every true religion, or at least the mystical aspects of true religions. So I think that pretty much answers your question. Thank you.